Okay, folks, away we go. This is episode 1112. It's Blind Magic in Alice Springs, and I am your presenter and host, Murray Stewart, and I'm with my absolutely delightful support worker and producer of this episode, Hayley. G'day, Hayley.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You've just come back from Bali.
Yeah.
And I told you to be really, really careful and safe. Well, you obviously were, because you are back and everything's in place, all fingers and toes and arms and legs. And yeah, here you are. I'm very pleased to have you back, Hayley, I can tell you.
Thank you. It's not that dangerous.
No, well, did you tell me, how did you go with the buying of things over there? Were you a bit strategic about how you managed all of that?
I mean, everything you want to buy in Bali, you need to bargain a lot.
Oh, yeah, I bet you. I reckon you'd be a numbers cruncher. Yeah, I bet you are bargaining. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. And how did you find the bars and that sort of thing? They're mainly Australian owned, I believe.
Yes, the bar, there are one street like full of the bars, different kind of bars, and it was very, very busy.
Oh, yeah, I bet you. And how did you cope with all those stupid drunken Aussies over there?
Nah, I didn't really like it. I
No.
just went there one night and I didn't really like it, so I stayed for 2 hours.
Wow, you're very, very sensible. You see, I should have trusted you all along. You know, I should probably not have given you those little talks before you left, because you're a very, very sensible young woman. Yeah, even I would stay away from those drunken Aussies myself, because it's not really my scene, Hayley, I got to tell you. Not really my scene. I don't, maybe it would have been 30 years ago, but these days, no thank you, not for me. And you made a similar choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the highlight of your trip?
Oh, I tried a lot of things. Like I went fishing.
Fishing?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
love fishing, yeah.
I got my dinner there.
Oh, so you fished for your own dinner?
Yeah.
And what did you catch?
Like 3 different kind of fish.
Oh,
But I don't
3 different
remember.
types.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
remember
wow.
the name.
Okay, but they tasted nice.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Yeah.
You know, I love fishing, Hayley. I absolutely love it. And when I go to Darwin, for example, I pull in whiting, which is one of the fish you'll catch up north. So maybe you caught a whiting, yeah?
Oh.
I'll tell you the one thing about whiting is they just suck on the line very, very gently. So that's why I use a hand line and not a rod. Because if you use a hand line, you can pick up those little ticks that the little sucking of the line does from they suck, and that a little tick that you feel when you've got a hand line.
Yeah.
And so I just wait, and then when I think it's time, I do a massive pull on the hand line, and up she comes. Yeah, but you've got to know. I mean, I am a fisherman from way back, and as I said, that's why I use a hand line. I mean, there are other reasons why you wouldn't use a hand line, but for someone like me, you need to be able to feel what's going on underneath. So I find it really, really important. So whenever I fish, that's what I do. Were you using a rod or a hand line?
Yeah.
What, a hand line?
Yeah, a hand line.
Yeah, well done. Oh, good. No wonder you reeled in the fish. So you must have very sensitive. Yeah, you've got skills, good sensory skills, where you can pick up the touch. Yeah.
I mean, maybe more about luck.
Well, luck. Yeah, that you need a bit of luck. You do. You do. Yeah. But let me tell you, if you're an Aussie, when you come home from a fishing trip, no matter what you've caught, you will embellish upon that. the stories become a lot bigger than the truth. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, Aussies are known for inflating the number of fish they caught and how big the fish they reeled in. Oh, yeah, the stories get bigger and bigger. You asked me what I caught back in the day, Hayley, and wow, well, I'll tell you some great stories. But look, I'm glad you had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Now, you're in your mid to late 20s, and this is my second attempt at this episode on marriage and what would keep a marriage strong and romantic and together. You know, I was pretty good at getting married, but not so good at keeping the marriages, Hayley. So please, when you listen to this episode, make sure that you take my advice upon advisement because, yeah, as I said, I'm pretty good at the things not to do. But in reverse, that means I know a little bit about what to do. Okay, so
Yeah, sure.
listen to this with both ears open and knowing that I've been very, very truthful about my past. I've had 3 marriages. I also engaged to a lady. And by the way, I love my 3 marriages and I look back upon them with great fondness, but no, they were not able to go the full journey. But here's some tips, Hayley, on what makes a good marriage.
Okay.
Firstly, when you leave the house, you make sure that you kiss your partner and tell them that you love them. Okay? And when you return back to the house, make sure you kiss again. A kiss and maybe even a little hug. All right? Okay, doing some of the household chores together. That's always very nice and very romantic. Yeah, washing the dishes together, for example. Wouldn't that be nice, Hayley?
Yeah.
Yeah, so doing some of the household chores together. Now, my love language is probably touch and talking. They're probably my love languages. So I would definitely throw in here, make sure that you're touching your partner. You know, as you pass them in the home's corridor, make sure you give them a little pat or a little squeeze, just to let them know that you acknowledge their presence and that you love them. Also, where possible, have dinner together at the end of the day. Yeah, share dinner together. And during that dinner, share some good conversation. Doesn't that sound nice? What do you reckon, Hayley?
Yes.
That sounds really nice. Okay, and date one another. Yeah, even though you may be married or in a good relationship, make sure that you're having a date with one another once a month. It might be a movie, catching a movie. You could do that at home, or you may even go out to the local cinema. Another good idea, do you think, Hayley?
Yeah.
Just freshens things up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the other option is, not the other option. The other romantic concept is to ensure, well, this is a thing that you shouldn't do. You've just been away on a holiday, okay?
Yeah.
So when you are married, I'm strongly suggesting never do that holiday separately. In other words, don't you go to Bali while your partner goes to Rome or something like that. Always do those holidays together. And I'll tell you why. Because one of the things about holidays is that you do come across a very, very interesting landmarks and events, and you're banking those memories. You are. You're banking those memories. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bank those memories together? And that leads to good conversations way into the future. That's why I truly believe that you should always holiday together. Conversely, never ever holiday apart. No, don't do it separately. It's a recipe for absolute disaster, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right, so there the broad romantic concepts that I have to share with you that will keep your marriage nice and strong. Nice and strong. Now, my role models in this area were my late mother-in-law and her husband. Yeah, her husband. They had a wonderful marriage, and it lasted right up until my mother-in-law passed recently. Yeah, they had a wonderful marriage, and they did all of these things that I have just suggested, and therefore their marriage held strong until she passed. And I'll tell you another thing that I'm going to add to this list is pray together. Now, I know that you're not a Christian, Hayley, but that's okay. If you were to become a Christian into the future, it's a well-known fact that praying together is a lovely romantic thing to do. And if you're going to pray together, you might as well exercise together. Keep fit together. Walking or running together. Doing some exercise in the house. A beautiful way to stay together. And if into the future you happen to have children, involve the children as well. So praying together and exercising together and having dinner together, a beautiful way to ensure that you are together forever and ever. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I truly believe in as well, Hayley.
Yeah.
Number one is respect. Respect. Respect one another. Example, let me give you an example. If you're out at a function, an event where there's dancing, and let's say you were married or had a partner, Hayley, let's say that you were asked to dance, okay, by someone else outside of the relationship. In my view, Hayley, it is very respectful to go to your husband or partner who may be sitting close by and just to ask. Just run it by them. Just say, hey, you don't mind if I dance with, whoever the person might be? It's just respect, Hayley.
Yeah.
It's not about ownership. It's not about any of those things. It's just very, very respectful. Number one to me is never, ever take your marriage or your partnership for granted. You don't think that once you start thinking that the person in your life is going to be in your life forever and ever, no matter how you treat them, that's a sure recipe for disaster. And I believe if that's a mistake that I can look back on with regret that I made in my marriages, I think that's the number one mistake I made. I think I did start to treat my partner and therefore my marriage, I did start taking it for granted. And hence, the things that I've just spoke of dropped away. Hence, my marriage marriages ended up coming to their conclusion. So don't do as I did, Hayley. Don't take your marriage or your partnership for granted. All right, that is probably the number one piece of advice I can give you amongst the other pieces of advice in this podcast. I guess one other piece of advice I'd give you is save this podcast, Hayley, and play it back one day and write these down because I hope these are words of wisdom shared with everyone out there that will ensure that their marriages remain strong. Because you know something, Hayley, I do love love and I do love romance and I love people to be in love. If we were all in love, what a great world this would be, hey?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, this has been episode 1112, a Blind Magic Communications production.